to BB's Handmade Dress, a vlog all about dressmaking, sewing and a little bit of knitting thrown there as well. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, thank you very much. I'm really sorry, it's been a little while. I've done lots of vlogs in that time. Unfortunately, my phone ran out of data and storage, and I thought by deleting the raw footage I'd have the rest in my video editor all ready to go, and I ended up deleting all my videos from the last few months, so it's been a little while. I'm sorry about that, guys, but I'm here now. So today I am going to be talking a little bit on knitting. I'm going to film a few in a row, so if you see me in the same outfit you'll know why. I'm on a bit of a catch up. So I've got a few finished objects knitting wise. We also went to Unravelled, which was amazing, at Farnham Maltings last weekend. So I've got a little bit of a stash enhancement for you as well on the knitting front. So I've been knitting a few years, not very seriously, but I've really got into it in the last few months. I've got a few friends who definitely are much more knitters than they are sewers. So we've been doing a little bit of that. Okay, so we went to Farnham Maltings. I spent quite a bit of money, so I'll talk about that a little bit later in my stash enhancement. I'll show you what I got and where I got it. I wanted to talk to you guys about a couple of knitting projects I finished, some big ones, namely the one I'm wearing. This is the Icelandic sweater from Raga Eriksdottir. This is my first full colourwork cardigan. I'm really pleased with it. It's a lovely pattern. It's my first time actually using a colourwork chart for a garment. I have done it for mittens. That light, guys, I'm sorry, I've been going backwards and forwards with this light. I just have to hope that the sun goes in. So it's my first go at doing a colourwork chart for a yoke. I absolutely loved it, and I've already cast on something else straight away because it was so much fun to do. So I'm really happy with it. It took me about a month all in, but that was pretty much constantly knitting every single night on it all the time. The yarn is Drops Nepal, which is a 50% alpaca, 50% wool mix. The main colour is sea blue. Then I've got the dark grey and the white. So just to give you a little close up of the colourwork. It is my first go at colourwork, so be kind. So I'm really happy with it. It's my first go at steeking as well. I've never done that before and didn't really know what to expect. Everybody else was freaking out for me, and I was like, no, it'll be fine. I just do it, I just be brave, it'll be okay. So this is the one where it tells you to do a crocheted steek, crochet over the steek I should say, and then you cut through the middle, which is really scary. This has got kind of a good bite to it, this Drops Nepal, so it wasn't too bad in terms of the unravelling. It didn't unravel at all really while I was knitting it, but as you can probably see, my crochet leaves a lot to be desired. So I have been rolling it in, and I probably will machine stitch down the front just to secure it and then possibly take the crochet out, or I've got a couple of friends who can crochet who have said they'll help me to sort that out. But other than that, I'm really pleased with it. I did knit the sleeves a little longer, and they've only just got to bracelet length, so what I ended up doing was knitting more stockinette and then slightly more rib, but just kind of altering the length of the rib because the rib was quite long in terms of the stockinette. So it's bracelet length, but it's perfect for kind of springtime wearing, so that's, you know, all good. As I said, I've really enjoyed it. I think I'm definitely going to be knitting much more yokes, and maybe going into more kind of Icelandic and Norwegian yarns. I understand Drops and Pool is kind of not a Norwegian or those kinds of yarns, but it was sort of one of the ones they recommended, so I went with that. Much more to say on this cardigan other than I really enjoyed knitting it. Sorry it's just gone very, very dark, guys. The light's not great, it's the afternoon, so I really should have filmed this morning, but I got a little bit distracted. So I'm sorry if you're getting a few light changes. I'm just trying to get it so bright outside. It's a lovely sunny winter afternoon, but there we are. So yes, this is my Icelandic pullover cardigan. I didn't find the chart too difficult. It's great when you do it in kind of lines and then you create this pattern. It's lovely. My sticks are fairly neat for a newbie. I think I could have kept them a little bit looser. I do feel it's very form-fitting up here, but I don't dislike that. I think it's kind of nice. I did the short rows on the back, so the back is higher than the front, which I didn't find a challenge. They were fun. I've never done short rows before either, so it was a real learning curve, this one, but a really good one. A couple of other knitting projects of late. I've knitted the Winterland hat. I can't remember who it's by, I'll put it on the screen. This one has just recently acquired a pom-pom. It's amazing. So at Unravelled, we saw the Toft stand and they had a jar full of pom-poms, and I was like, mental note, getting one of those. And I walked all the way around and we did a recce first, and then we came back. And I came back and there was no pom-poms in the jar, or there was no grey ones in the jar. And I was like, oh, have you got any more pom-poms? And she was like, oh no, that's all we had. And I was like, oh no, I really wanted a grey one. But they had a sample with a grey pom-pom on, and she said, I'll unpick that one. So she said all of her samples end up without pom-poms by the end of the day, because they always sell out and always have to use the pom-poms that they've put on their hats. So this is the Winterland hat. Try and find the best angle for you. There we go. With its giant fluffy alpaca pom-pom from Toft. It was a lot for a pom-pom, but I think it was worth it. So this is Malabrigo Arroyo in the English Rose colourway. It's my first go at cables as well, so I've been trying to do a lot of firsts this year already. So I've already completed a colourwork cardigan and this little dude. It's a little bit short on me. It's better with a pom-pom. There we go. We did this as a knit along, me and a friend. That's better. You get a bit of an idea. And we knit the same one. She did a different colourway. I think she had the an inky blue kind of colourway. Hers has come out way longer than mine, and when I blocked it, I tried to sort of push it up a bit, but it's not really gone anywhere particularly. I could have done with another pattern repeat, and I've still got loads of yarn left, so I don't really know what I was doing with that. But yeah, I'm really pleased with it, especially with its pom-pom. This just makes me happy. So there's that one. So that is the Winterland pattern, and the yarn was Arroyo. Okay, so the next finished object is one that has been a UFO or a whip for a very long time. So this is made out of Louisa Harding's Thistle, which is so old you can't get it anymore. It's a Merino alpaca blend, and the pattern is the Cupido cowl. I think that's how you say it. It's just a slip stitched pattern. It makes it so spongy and gorgeous. I've been wearing this pretty much all of the time. It's gone. I've got another cowl that I don't really, my honey cowl, that I don't wear as much as this one because it's so squishy and gorgeous. So like I said, the yarn was Thistle. I'm not sure what colour it was, but I know you definitely can't get it anymore, so sorry about that. But it is definitely 50% merino, 50% alpaca mix, and there's the slip stitch pattern. So it makes it really spongy and really squishy. So it's not super long, and my bind off is better on one side than the other. But yes, I've been wearing this to death because it sits just perfectly It keeps my neck warm, it's nice and comfortable. So that is the Cupido cowl. So that's my 3 finished objects since January, which I'm super pleased about. I've cast on a couple of things, but realistically I'm only working on one. Okay, so the first whip I've got to show you isn't very far along, and I might have to rip back a little bit anyway because I was a little bit stuck, is the Chuck sweater from Andy Satterland. This is where I'm at so far. So that's your back, and I've just started to work on the front. It isn't twisted, it's just my, there you go. So that will be the front and that will be the back. I'm a little bit stuck on this first row where I've started, I'm just about to start the cable, so I might have to rip back and start from the shoulder seams again, but that's okay, it won't take me long. I've not been working on this hugely just because I'm finding it a little challenging. It's my first go at cabling on an actual sweater, and I'm just finding it a bit confusing. I really like Andy Satterland's patterns. I made a Miette years ago that I shrunk. Makes me sad every time I think about it. It was really expensive lark, Quince & Co yarn as well. I'm finding it really challenging reading her patterns recently. I don't know what it is about that. I'm just finding it, there's lots of little tiny bits rather than kind of like, do this for 10 rows, do this for, you know, or a chart. I'm finding her charts confusing as well. So I think it's just I'm not used to reading her style at the moment. So I'm gonna go back to that, and I will pick that one back up at the moment, but that's where I'm at with it. The yarn is Cascade 220 in Flamingo Pink. I'll put the colourway below because I know that it's a number. The other whip that I've got going on at the moment is my Fern and Feather from Jennifer Steingass. So this is where I'm at. I cannot stop knitting it, guys. It's so cool. So this is where I'm at as of today. There's my yoke. Ooh. It's so much fun to knit. I love knitting colourwork yokes. It's just the best. Ooh, try and roll down my thing so you're not staring at just stick. There you go. So I'm just at the point where I'm working on the kind of dots rather than the feather-like pieces. So I think I'm 10 rows from the end of the chart now, but I'm loving it. So the yarn is Knit by Numbers double knit. It's 100% pure Falkland Merino. I picked this up at Unravelled. One of them is KBN 86 and the other is KBN 12. So that's the colourways. I've never encountered them before, but they were at Unravelled and they had a huge stand and they had an offer on for, I think it was buy 10 skeins, get another one free. So me and my friend teamed up and she bought enough for a jumper and I bought enough for Fern and Feather, and got a freebie one. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, so I'm really loving that. I'm really loving knitting on it. That DK is so soft. I am knitting it in a DK instead of a, I think the pattern calls for a worsted. I swatched and I had to go up a needle size, but that's not unusual for me. So I am knitting this on a 4.5 or a 5. Yeah, so I'm loving that. I really, really can't wait. I want to kind of get this done for EYF. We're going to EYF and I'm so excited. But I'd really like this to be my Edinburgh Yarn Festival jumper. So fingers crossed I can get that finished. So in terms of what I've got for a Stash Enhancement knitting edition, we went to Barcelona a few weeks ago and we went to a couple of yarn shops. I only bought one thing, which is Ovejita Bee, and I bought it at Lalu Nanu. It's Ovejita Bee's Boniqueta, which is 100% merino superwash, and this is the light fingering weight in the colourway Parachutin. Oh, it's so beautiful. Look at the speckles. Colours might be a little bit out, guys, because it's such a bright day, so just be aware of that. I will try and colour correct where I can. yes, so it has streaks of like dark purple, royal blue, and then these peach speckles on a kind of petal base. There's absolutely loads of this, 400 yards, 500 metres. There's 500 metres, and I think it was about €21. So not actually hugely expensive, but I've never knit with this light a yarn before. So I quite fancy the Midori House Ranunculus. If I can get a sweater out of this using size 6 needles so it's loopy, I'd be so happy. But yeah, that's what we bought in Barcelona. Okay. So the next things I'm going to show you are the things I bought at Unravelled. As you can see, I've already cracked open some of the knit by numbers, so I haven't mentioned the grey that I've bought here. So you won't see that skeined up because I've only got one. But other than that, I did quite a lot at knit by numbers. So I did also buy, this is also knit by numbers, this is just one of their cream bases. This is also a DK. I picked this up with the intention of using it for fern and feather with the purple. But I found that I actually just preferred the grey that I'd bought, because originally I could only find a 4-ply in the cream colour, and so what I bought was from the 4-ply section, and I thought, oh, do you know what, I'll use it for something else. And when I got it home I realised I'd picked up a DK anyway, so I did have a DK in the cream to use, but I opted for the silver anyway. So I have one of those. These are absolutely loads of yardage. So this is the purple skeined up. So they are 250 metres and their DK weight, 100% pure Plum Merino, and they are absolutely gorgeous. There's their little label. Super cute. So I bought a few things from them, and then my which was mainly my purple and my grey. So I think I got 4 skeins of the purple, 1 of the grey and 1 of the cream. And then as my freebie, I just couldn't put this colour down. I swear, if anyone's a lighting guru, can you please let me know how I deal with afternoon sun other than not filming in it? Because I'm finding it so hard to get the colours right here. So this is my knit by numbers in KBN 23 in this amazing peachy. It's actually more a salmony pink. It's really bright on there, but I'll see if I can insert a picture so you can see a more accurate colour. This is the 4-ply, so I've actually got 400 metres of this one. No plans for it yet, but it's so soft. Sort of made a list, not a total list, and in fact I didn't really buy very much off of my list other than something for fern and feather. We came across Giddy yarns, and I've never heard of them before, but when I was stalking the website I found it, and I bought this one home, which is Moody Ruby, which is their Merino DK Crazy 8. It's 250 metres, and it's kind of these mustard, then like pumpkin spice, then splashes of purple and kind of a merlot colour. It's so cool. I nearly bought 2 skeins. It was £17 a skein, and then I was like, no, I'm just gonna get one, I'm gonna be really good. So I only bought 1, and now I feel like I should have bought 2, but it's really cute. That's definitely going to be a cowl of some kind, even if it's just kind of a short one. Definitely loving that. I went to Stranded Dye Works because I love pretty much anything that Amy does. I would buy nearly every single colourway of yarn she has, but specifically went there for Blue Rinse because I really fancied making a Rocane out of it. I know she's knitted it and it's really beautiful. So I went over there and they had 4 skeins and I needed 5. But it was so lovely to meet Amy, and she looked like she was doing really well, and hopefully she sold lots of yarn, but she did email me to say that she'd found another skein, so I'm definitely getting on that Blue Rinse. But because she didn't have it, I still felt bad because I still really wanted to buy some of her yarn. So I did, and I opted for her Cavern base. Yep, so it's her Cavern base, which is a Merino nylon stellina base. So it's 70 Merino, 20 nylon and 5 stellina. And this is her Sugar Plum colourway, which is kind of beautiful pinks and purples and things. I'm going to knit some socks out of this because that's what it's designed for. It's definitely going to be some kick-ass socks. So thank you very much, Amy. It was lovely to meet you and have a little chat and all of that kind of stuff as well. And I'm sure I'll catch up with you at EYF. The other one I bought from Amy was another Cavern sock yarn. So exactly the same mix, but this time in Naive watercolour. And I showed this to my mum and my mum went, oh, it's a unicorn colour. And she knows I love unicorns, so I'm definitely going to have some unicorn socks out of that. If not, possibly a hat, because I kind of don't want to just wear this on my feet. It's really beautiful. And look how gorgeous her label is. So gorgeous. So yeah, this is the same. So this is 70, 20 and 5. So 70 merino, superwash merino, 20 nylon and 5% stellina. And it's 400 metres. So, and then machine washable, which is amazing for socks. So that is the Naive watercolour. We saw loads of different people there. We had loads of fun. I got a couple of pairs of stitch markers and I got one more thing of yarn. I did pick up some stitch markers and then I'll show you my final bit of yarn. So this one is from, my friend Rebecca's gonna tell me off because I cannot pronounce this to save my life. Is it Catlin Bayeg? Sorry Rebecca, remind me how to say it. She was there, she had loads of gorgeous stitch markers. I nearly spent a fortune, but I opted for these ones, which are her Honeycomb stitch markers. I don't know how easy you're going to be able to see that. How cute are those? So I got the mixed set, so I've got small, medium and large in there. But she had some that were on little charms that you put on a bracelet and then just take them off as you need, which I thought was the coolest idea ever. But they were a bit more expensive than this. And then I picked up some Wrinkles stitch markers. I'd wanted these for ages. I knew I was going to buy some regardless as to how much they were. They're little jumpers. Oh, little cute jumpers. I had to have them. And my friend bought some sheep ones as well because they were so cute. Then the last bit of yarn I bought, and I do wish I bought 2 of these, is from a yarn story, which we loved their stand and we wanted to go back, but we know we'll see them at Edinburgh. So we did restrain ourselves a little bit. And I got the Fibre Co's Rota China Light Silken Jewels, which is this one. I don't know if you can see it there. There we go. So it is cashmere, camel, silk and alpaca. So it is 65 alpaca, 15 silk, 10 camel and 10 cashmere. And it's 159 yards and it's sport weight. And the colour is Topaz. I love this colour. I really wanted to make the bee pollen hat. Like honeycomb design, but then when I got it home I realised that it's not sport weight, it's DK. And then I saw someone had made it out of the same yarn. I was like, but someone's made it, but they doubled it and they needed 2 skeins. So I might buy another skein, or I might just make something beautiful out of it, but it's so unbelievably soft. And my friend went and grabbed it and then she was like, oh my god, this is the softest thing I've ever touched in my life. It's gonna make me cry. And then the lady next to us did exactly the same thing. So I know she got the green colourway and I got the mustard. So I don't know what I'm going to make out of this yet, but it's up there. It's so soft. I really, really want to make something gorgeous out of it, but something next to my skin, but I don't know what. They did have a cowl on there that they said used one, but I didn't pick up pattern. So in terms of yarn and knitting, that's pretty much where I'm at the moment. I definitely want to cast on a pair of socks. I've started some of Fulham Vine's Everyday Sock. I didn't have enough of the Arroyo that I used for my hat to make 2 pairs of socks, and they came out massive anyway. I used the largest size and it was huge. So I've ripped them, frogged them, and I'm going to use some of my other yarn to knit some socks. But yeah, so I've got all these goodies to knit up. If you were at Unravelled, I'd love to know what you bought, what your plans are knitting wise. As you can see, I'm working on Fern and Feather and Chuck at the moment. I'd like to get Fern and Feather done for Edinburgh. So if you're going to Edinburgh, please make sure you wave, say hi. I'd love to chat all things knitting. I will be back with a sewing update soon. As I said, most of my footage was deleted and I don't know if I can get any of it back, so I'm just going to be doing a few quick videos just to upload and then start afresh. So I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry it's been so long. Don't forget you can follow and like and subscribe this video. I'm really so happy, guys, that there's been lots of subscriptions recently, so thank you very much. Don't forget to leave me a comment below. I always love reading comments and getting to know what you're making. You can also find me on Instagram at bbhandmadedress, and I will check in with you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.